The Bay Area isn't just San Francisco and Silicon Valley. It's a mosaic of cities that each tell a completely different story. A short drive can take you from the foggy hills of San Francisco to the sun-soaked neighborhoods of San Jose. And that same drive can mean a $2 million swing in home prices, or more importantly, a completely different way of life. From the East Bay's creative energy to the Peninsula's polished tech corridors, every city has its own rhythm, its own character, and its own reason people decide to call it home. People are very polarized with where they live when it comes to home ownership, and especially when it comes to raising a family. So this video will help you really understand what may work best for you depending on all these different factors that are important. Hey, if you're seeing me for the first time, my name is Spencer Su. I'm a Bay Area native, and over the years, I've helped more than 350 families buy and sell homes all across the Bay Area. So I've seen personally firsthand what makes every city special and where people are finding the best opportunities in 2025, because we have clients literally everywhere. So we know what makes each place different, and we can suggest the best ones to help you save a lot of time. So in this video, we're gonna be breaking down what makes each major Bay Area city unique, from San Francisco's global appeal to Walnut Creek's suburban luxury, and revealing where the real growth opportunities are happening next. If you're thinking about making a move anywhere in the Bay Area, or you're just curious how your city stacks up, make sure to stick around until the very end, as I'm gonna show you how to find the right fit for your lifestyle, commute, and your budget. Now let's start with San Francisco, because this is the city that is defining the Bay Area for the rest of the world, the AI capital. It is the Bay's cultural heartbeat and architectural showpiece, where innovation, history, and art all share the same land mass. Each neighborhood will tell its own story. You have South of Market Street and downtown, which rise with glass and steel skyscrapers housing tech startups and high-rise condos. Pacific Heights and Nob Hill offer grand architecture and sweeping bay views. Noe Valley, Bernal Heights, and the Sunset District provides quieter, family-friendly streets with parks and good schools, while the Mission and Hayes Valley pulse with creativity, nightlife, and some of the best dining scenes in all of the country. Now, beyond lifestyle, San Francisco remains the economic and cultural capital of Northern California, as it's home to all these global innovators like Salesforce, OpenAI, Uber, Stripe, and Airbnb. It also has an incredible biotech corridor anchored around Mission Bay, and many of the nation's most influential venture capital firms in and around San Francisco, especially around the Presidio. The city's unique mix of tech, biotech, finance keeps attracting top talent all across the world, which is why a lot of people have continued to immigrate and migrate to that city specifically. Now, the median price of the city is at around $1.3 million, but it's a wide range of homes. You can have plenty of condos that start at under $600,000. And then it certainly can increase to really amazing estates that could be over $10 million plus. The range is just tremendous, but it's all by neighborhood. Now, for those who crave world-class dining, walkable streets, and front-row access to culture and career opportunities, San Francisco still delivers that unmatched blend of prestige and possibility. But there are trade-offs, because if you're looking for more sunshine, more space, better schools in general, and proximity to big Silicon Valley campuses, your journey is mostly going to lead you towards the south. And San Jose is where we're going to talk about next, which is the region's thriving tech capital. Not when it comes to necessarily AI, new startups, but with large campuses and companies that are topping the global market caps. Now, San Jose is where innovation meets everyday life, because San Jose isn't just another pure tech hub. You have plenty of industries and companies that have expanded their corporate campuses, and where there's nearly 1 million people that live at the crossroads of community and creation. Now in San Jose, it's not going to be most of these newer generation tech companies and these AI companies that have raised God's amount of money. We're talking about companies that you probably have established for a long time and you probably have heard of. You're thinking places like Adobe, which the headquarters shapes the downtown skyline. You got Cisco, you got eBay, you got PayPal, you got Zoom, you got Supermicro. All these places keep powering the city's economy forward. And now you have a new wave of AI hardware, semiconductors, and green tech companies that don't have the big names, but that have quietly continued to expand in San Jose. I just drove by recently in North San Jose, where you have Broadcom, but right next to Broadcom, you have a small little company that's been growing very quickly. And if you believe in robots, you're going to believe in the company called Figure. Because the reality is, even with hybrid work that has reshaped some sectors, that's not the case when it comes to most companies. Most companies want people in the office, they want that innovation, they want that collaboration, so they will want you 3 to 5 days a week, so be mindful for that. But what really defines San Jose is its incredible diversity, both in people and its neighborhoods. Downtown has a new rhythm to it. It continues to improve. The new Sofa District buzzes with art galleries, coffee shops, and nightlife. I've joined many art gallery events, and there are many clubs that are there that meet on a recurring basis. These places are then surrounded by sleek high-rises and converted lofts that attract a lot more young professionals and modern apartments. Drive a few minutes south and suddenly you're in an amazing area of Willow Glen where I go running all the time, where you're gonna get tree-lined streets, boutique stores, and weekly farmers markets make it feel like a small town tucked inside a big city. You go head back northeast and you'll reach a place called Berryessa in North San Jose, which you have a lot of newer construction homes when it comes to condos and townhomes. And you have some single family homes that you can get up to about $2.3 million. This area will have good schools, easy access to the most south BART line. Now farther south in Almaden Valley and Evergreen, you're gonna get delivered mountain views, large lots, and some of the highest rated schools in the Bay Area, with some of the largest homes you can possibly get too. This is perfect for families who want space, still without leaving the city. For those who love character, places like Rose Garden and Cambrian, you're still gonna have that classic California feel, mid-century homes, quiet parks. All of this is what makes San Jose so different from anywhere else in the Bay Area. It gives you choice. You can live in a modern downtown condo, a hillside estate, or a quiet suburban cul-de-sac and still be minutes from major employers, incredible restaurants, inexpensive Asian food, especially fantastic Vietnamese food, and outdoor escapes like Almaden Quicksilver Park or the Los Gatos Creek Trail. Now you add this with access to the Caltrain, BART connections, and the city keeps getting more accessible every single year. To give you an idea, the median home price right now in San Jose is at $1.41 million. So things are continuing to move fast, but at the same time, it's a wide mix of homes. Single family will be significantly more, closer to around 1.8, 1.9. But then you have plenty of condos and townhomes. You can get condos as little as like a 2-bedroom condo for under $500,000. Now, as you go across the San Francisco Golden Gate Bridge, you'll get out to the East Bay, which will feel a completely different kind of energy. The creative pulse and a very diverse community named Oakland. But before we get there, if you're wanting these industry insights and these tips from a Bay Area native, and you're looking to potentially buy or sell in the Bay Area, share this video with others and subscribe to the channel. 90% of you watching aren't even subscribed, which is absolutely nuts. Do it now. Let's talk about Oakland, because this is a city that has a lot of negative publicity to it. But you gotta think about it. Why are there so many people there? Why is the median price still what it is? Why are there so many amazing restaurants that continue to be here? Because it's a city that moves to its own rhythm. It's urban, creative, and fiercely proud of its identity. From its colorful murals and jazz roots to its ever-evolving skyline, Oakland has always been a place where individuality thrives and community runs deep. Let's talk about the different regions of it. You can grab coffee in a century-old Art Deco building downtown. Then you can walk past new condos rising just a few blocks away. The uptown and the downtown corridors are alive with music venues, cocktail bars, and art galleries that do attract young professionals and creatives. If you think about around Lake Merritt, you're gonna find lots of joggers, families, and high-rise apartments with some of the best waterfront views in the entire East Bay. Head a little bit north and the vibe shifts again. Something a little bit more luxury, higher price, amazing restaurants. We're talking about the regions of Temescal and Rockridge, which feels like kind of the Brooklyn of the Bay, because you got indie shops, breweries, and walkable streets lined with craftsman home. And up in the hills, think about places like a Montclair, which offer quiet, tree-covered streets, top-rated schools, and a slower pace that appeals to families looking for space without giving up city access. Economically, Oakland is also one of the Bay Area's most dynamic hubs, because it's actually home to Kaiser Permanente, Clorox, Blue Shield of California, and a growing number of startups that have their home base there. Even though the Bay Area doesn't get as much known for the shipping side of things, the port of Oakland remains one of the busiest on the West Coast, driving commerce, import-exports, trade, and jobs that keeps the city's economy balanced beyond just pure tech. And with BART and fare lines connecting directly to San Francisco, a lot of professionals chose to live in Oakland because of how much cheaper it is relative to San Francisco. Now, to give you an idea, Oakland home prices have a median of $815,000, which, as you can see, it's significantly less than what you'll get in both San Jose and San Francisco while still being a major city. This is the reality where this mix of affordability, access, and local pride is what's drawing in consistent new waves of buyers who see Oakland not as a backup destination, but as a first choice for many. Oakland does have that grit, culture, and heart, the kind of place where community murals and family-run restaurants sit next to renovated Victorians and rooftop bars. It's a city in constant reinvention. That's exactly what gives it its strength. Now, as you head back across the bay towards the peninsula, the story will shift once again. Not necessarily of culture and creativity, but more of innovation and prestige. Welcome to Palo Alto, the brain of Silicon Valley. Palo Alto is known for innovation, Stanford, and prestige, because Palo Alto is a city that defines innovation. This is where it all began. where garages turned into billion-dollar companies, and where Stanford's continued influence built an ecosystem that changed the world. I have clients that are Stanford alums, and they will fly back to their alum events every single year. Walk through the tree-lined streets here and you can feel it. A quiet confidence, a sense that every conversation at a coffee shop might spark the next big idea or the next big investment. Stanford University sits at the heart of it all, shaping not just the city's culture, but its global reputation. From there, generations of founders have launched companies like Google, HP, Tesla, and countless startups that continue to refine what is possible. The city itself balances this intellectual energy with calm, polished neighborhoods. Places like Professorville, Old Palo Alto, and Crescent Park, filled with historic homes and timeless character. You also get some of the most premium homes that you can get in all of the Bay. Now you think about downtown Palo Alto, that area will blend sophistication and walkability. You get boutique shops, Michelin-star dining, and sleek offices filled with VC firms and early-stage innovators. It's one of these rare places where you can finish a Zoom call, go grab a sandwich on university because there's plenty of good food, and bump into a Stanford professor or startup founder on the same block with their next mission. And while much of Silicon Valley sprawls outward, Palo Alto has mastered the art of staying intimate because everything feels designed, intentional, and high-end. Now the home price in Palo Alto is significantly more than the other cities we just brought up. It has a median price of $3.9 million. It's because it has large homes, amazing world-class schools, and proximity to some of the most influential companies and investors on the planet. It's no surprise that a lot of people that work in these VC funds, work at private equity, banking, or did really well at any of these large companies continue to live here. But if you think about it, if Palo Alto is where ideas are born, just a few miles south, you're gonna find the city where those ideas scale, the vibrant, ever-evolving city of Mountain View. Now this city powers the modern internet, and the reason why is because Google's empire, home to the Googleplex, nearly hundreds of thousands of tech workers whose daily routines shape the rhythm of an entire region. But what's interesting is about Mountain View is how it's managed to blend that global scale with still that true community feel, because you have one of the most incredible downtowns called Castro Street that is the heart of it all. This street is lined with restaurants, coffee shops, and local boutiques where people actually walk, meet, and hang out together. You're gonna see all sorts of people, young single people, families biking to dinner, young professionals grabbing drinks together. It's that rare mix of innovation and normal life that makes Mountain View feel alive long after office hours end. Now the housing here reflects that balance too, because you're gonna find everything from sleek townhomes near the transit centers to quiet tree-shaded streets with mid-century homes that have held their charm for decades. Mountain View falls right in between Palo Alto and Sunnyvale. It still continues to have not just Google as its major employers, but it's surrounded by huge companies that offer a lot of high-paying, amazing employment. The median home price in Mountain View is also significantly less. And the reason for that is because while the single family is still well above $2.5 million, there's a lot of smaller, older condos and townhomes that are under $1 million. But enough talking about the South Bay. Let's just take a short drive southwest, and you're gonna find a city built for families, diversity, and practicality. One of the most underrated places in Silicon Valley, Fremont, also known as one of the happiest cities in all of the country. Fremont is a fantastic alternative for many people that are okay with a little bit of a longer commute, but value more space, great schools, diversity, heavy Asian influence, and just simply a lot more space. Because what makes Fremont special is its balance. You still got a lot of people that work in these big tech companies, but you also have people that may choose to work in some of these nearby ones. It could be places like Tesla, Lam Research, Western Digital, because all those places are headquartered out there. But at the same time, they value all the tremendous space that is out there because it's not anywhere close to the density that you have in most of those cities that I just labeled. Yet, some regions will have some of the best schools that you will find anywhere. We're talking about first of like Mission San Jose, because here, this is the best of the best. But if you don't want that hyper pressure competitive environment, there are also excellent regions that are also very doable. To the north, you have Ardenwood. And then to the south, you have the community of Irvington High School. Both of those are also easily 9+ rated. Now, if you desire new construction homes in the area of Warm Springs, right around Tesla, all of that area has been rezoned and rebuilt over the last 5 years, so you have a lot of condos and townhomes that you can get places for under $1.4 million for newer construction places next to the BART line. What's incredible about this area too is because there is more land, some of the parks are just tremendous. So you got Lake Elizabeth and Central Park, which are local favorites, and I always enjoy going there because I do play tennis. You got walking trails, picnic spots, open air festivals that make it out there. You got tennis courts, soccer fields, you got the water park there. Now, to give you an idea, the median home price in Fremont is about $1.43 million, and it varies. Some of the best school district areas, those places, you gotta be able to have a budget of around 1.8 and above, and that can easily go up to 4 million plus. But if you're talking about the other areas, which don't have the best of schools, but they're still okay, those places you can get a single family home at plus or minus 1.5. But the benefit is a lot of the condos and townhomes, as I mentioned, you can get the best of the best townhomes at under 1.4, and then you have a lot of other places you can get places for under $1 million. As you can see, Fremont remains one of those most strategic locations in the Bay Area, where it is close enough to a lot of the jobs. You still got to commute about an hour, but people make that trade-off for the good schools, the friends in that area, but also the land that you can get for it. Now, enough of these kind of core areas, right? You saw all these places circle around the Bay itself. But we're going to talk about another place that's just beyond the East Bay Hills, because the landscape will change again. From family suburbs to charming small town luxury, welcome to Pleasanton, where upscale living meets timeless suburban comfort. Now, Pleasanton is upscale suburban charm with top schools, because as you keep driving through the rolling hills of the Tri-Valley, you're going to eventually reach Pleasanton. You go from Fremont through the hills, you're right into Pleasanton as your first city. Now here, they have a charming, more historical Main Street. So their Main Street is not like the others that we've seen where there's a lot of more modern amenities, a lot more updates. It still has this old, I want to say almost like this saloon type of feel. Now the city itself still has access to the BART station. It's not the same BART station we talked about before going through Fremont and San Jose, but it actually segues through from Castro Valley side to get into the Pleasanton side. So it goes down that path. But Pleasanton is also still known, very similar to Fremont. Great schools, more land, can be very, very upscale, especially if you think about a place like Ruby Hills. There's a few corporate headquarters that are still out there, not as much, but there's still a few, especially when you look at the big companies like Workday and Safeway. You have a few more logistics companies that continue to have expanded there. So it's been that intersection where you have some newer development places that are in the Pleasanton, Dublin, San Ramon area that continues to attract a lot of prospective homeowners that especially want something a little bit newer with a lot more space. Now, the way that I think about Fremont is that you can get just basically a cheaper but also larger version of your options in Fremont. So a lot of people that can't afford things in Fremont or don't like what they can get in Fremont and they're okay to add another 30-40 minutes of commute, then they'll choose to be out in Pleasanton. Now, Pleasanton's home prices are actually kind of similar to Fremont at $1.4 million, but the price per square foot is the big difference. You just get significantly more for your money there. I would say about 15 to 20% more for your money for the exact same budget. The density of newer construction homes there, though, is actually less. There's actually a lot more density in Fremont, North San Jose, Milpitas, because they have a lot of regions that expand around the newer BART stations, while Pleasanton BART station has been there for a long time. So you've had some newer developments over time, like newer single family that are plus or minus $3 to $4 million. But outside of that, most of them are going to be these original places that will eventually resell, but people still go because all of Pleasanton is known for good schools. So it's a fantastic alternative for people that don't want to pay for what you can get in Fremont, have the ability for a little bit more commute. They would then choose Pleasanton to be. Now we're going to wrap things up because we're going to take a look at another big city that not a lot of people go to because it's a little bit more tucked away in the East Bay. And we're going to be talking about Walnut Creek. Now, Walnut Creek, not a lot of people talk about, but I have a lot of clients that are moving there or want to be there, mainly because of affordability. It will be outside of Oakland, the cheapest place that you can buy when it comes to your budget. But a lot of those areas also still have very good schools. So you can get a good sized home, great schools, at around plus or minus $1.3 million or so. And that's going to be a pretty grand home that if you lived in Pleasanton, you're going to be spending at least $2 million for. Now, what's also special about Walnut Creek is, once again, it also still has the access to the BART line because the BART line will also go through that section on the northern part. But the downtown is one of the best downtowns that there is to have. Think of it as like a larger, nice mixed retail space compared to like a Santana Row. It's actually even bigger than Santana Row because Santana Row actually borders Valley Fair. But if you haven't been there and you have a weekend free, try to avoid the summertime because Walnut Creek in general gets a lot hotter in the summertime. But if it's like a more mild day, go out there and it's going to be an absolutely gorgeous and beautiful day. Because there you're also going to get a lot of fantastic options for brunch, happy hour, restaurants, shopping. Very, very lovely place. Plenty of parking too. Now when it comes to homes, you're going to get a wide mix of homes. You have some more updated condos. You got a lot of charming single family homes. You also got homes that are larger size, and some, depending on where you're at, some can go into great schools. To give you an idea, the median price there is at $768,000, which is what I just shared. For those that are looking for more affordability or potentially their first place, that whole region of Walnut Creek, Pleasant Hill, Concord, all are fantastic locations to really consider, especially if you work in San Francisco and you have flexibility of work. Now, as you can see, the Bay Area isn't just one market. It's so easy to share, and it's so easy for people to complain that everywhere in the Bay Area is so expensive. But that's like saying everywhere in the US is expensive. Yes, obviously there are places that are very premium and people choose to work there, and I'm very lucky to support those people. But I'm also very lucky to support a lot of people that are getting their first place. Like most of us that bought our first place, we would have been happy to live in these other places that are a little bit further out to be able to get an amazing place to call their own and stop wasting money on rent. And down the road, you may trade that home to buy a new place. Because for me personally, after helping more than 350 families buy and sell across the entire Bay Area, I can tell you this: there's never a single best place to live forever. It's about finding your right match for your lifestyle, your budget, your commute, and your goals for a specific amount of time. Right? Think about it. You're buying a place maybe for the next 5 years. That is a stepping stone, but time goes by quick. So whether you're chasing walkability, top-rated schools, long-term appreciation, the key is making a data-driven decision with someone like myself who tracks this and knows how all these pieces fit together. So if you're planning a move anywhere in the Bay Area, or you're just curious what your home could solve for in today's market, call or text me directly, 408-547-4590. I'd love to walk you through the numbers, share the latest insights, and help you make a smart move. See you next time.